It's the Round 21 review for a massive week of AFL football. And J-Dog, it's getting close. It's getting tight. The sphincters of supporters around the country are tightening up at the moment because clubs are winning, clubs are losing, up and down the ladder. It is going berserko. And we're going to get into all of that right away. But for everybody joining us for the first time on YouTube or maybe Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I'm the host, Chris Pepper. 377 game Legend of the East Keeler Football Club. And to my right, your left, if you're watching this, it's the greatest co-host with the most. He's Jamie the J-Dog Wallace. You know him as Jaden Stevenson's dad. But more importantly, he is the reason why you tune in every single week. The dulcet tones of J-Dog purring through your beautiful ears. Great man. How was the weekend? More importantly, how did you see the football? It was interesting.
Let's just say that the wheels of many a wagons are falling off right now. And let's just say football sucks.
The wheels on the bus. The wheels on... Or could you say the planks on the port are falling off?
Calm down. No, Peps. It was a great weekend. I had my cousin's 21st, so that was lovely. And yeah, watched a bit of football. I sort of ignored the family for the first half of the gathering because I was watching the Essendon game. Loving what I was seeing there potentially until Essendon ruined it.
Don't start. They could be getting dragged this week.
Till Essendon ruined it.
Oh.
And then it was the Collingwood game, and I was loving that. And then it was our turn. I wasn't loving that.
Well, you had your Sample team in there, so it didn't really matter.
No, but it was a good weekend, Peps.
The Sample team didn't actually request to get the prison bars. Because you had a crack, mate. That's all you can ask for.
It's true. It's true. But, anyway, how was your weekend, Peps?
Oh, mate, fantastic. House stuff, pool stuff. Bought some tools. Bought a beautiful DeWalt kit. Oh,
did you?
Cracker, mate. I should say.
Where are you getting? Where's this money coming from? Bit of drug money?
No. Just sponsorship deals all throughout the country because hey, I'm lace out and that's how you watch footy. Just like this beautiful T-shirt I've got on for all my YouTube listeners, YouTube viewers. Like a cork in the ocean. D Comedy, 1992. You can order.
Where did you buy your DeWalt stuff from?
Sydney Tools had a great little sale, so I bought myself a 5-piece mega kit. Oh.
What did it include? You got a drill?
Hey, hold on.
Impact? Yeah, go get it.
I told you I had the box here.
Yeah, what do you got there?
I got the impact driver. I got the hammer drill. I got the reciprocal saw, the angle grinder, and the circular saw as well too.
You stuffed yourself over, mate. Everyone knows this. Everyone who's watching this and everyone's listening to it in the cars going, you have just ruined yourself.
Yep, well, more importantly, I'm probably going to end up in hospital cutting something off. So, but not John Wayne Bobbitt style, but I'll probably cut something off. But
yeah, but now the wife has got the excuse to say, you got the tools, mate.
But they don't work on weekends. They only work on weekdays, J-Dog. I only got the weekend tools. Anyway, cracking week of footy. Let's get into it. But
before we go.
What?
How many bones did that DeWalt kit cost you? Just for any budding apprentices out there.
820?
820? Good.
Yeah,
good
they
deal.
had a 35% off deal.
How many batteries? One battery?
2 batteries.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. And a kit and a tool bag.
And a bag, heavy duty bag. I actually look like like when you see some cricketers when they walk out and they've got all the gear, they look $1 million, but they don't know how to use it.
Yeah.
Me, but with the tools. I look shit hot, but don't know how to use them.
Any chance for a bit of a sling this way for tools for me?
Mate, whatever you need, I'll be able to help you out. Come over for a swim, and I'll drop some tools off for you as well too. Hey,
thank you.
We're going to be rapid fire episode this week. Charlie Keegan, the absolute superstar, he's going berserk. Bombers will win the flag. You've got to make finals first, mate, and then win actual final. Zach Hinkley kicked Port out of the finals if they endangered their players. Pablo Peps Escobar, apparently I'm on the nose candies. And we don't need all of our appendages. Well, you might further on down the track, Charlie, if you meet the right type of girls. You're going to need one in particular. But hey, footy this weekend, J-Dog, I want to get straight into the games. I want to have a look at the ladder because there's 2 parts to this ladder. We've got the ladder as we know about, But we've also got not just the ladder, we've got the round 24 fixture has been dropped as well too. So let's have a look at the ladder as I put it up and then put it away and then put it back up again. All right, Collingwood, season's over. According to everybody, season's over. Josh Dacos out. Sorry, Nick Dacos out, season's over. Melbourne, the D's have climbed up into second spot. 56 points, equal with Brisbane and equal with Port Adelaide, sinking fast. Carlton with their 7th win in the row at 46 points. Western Bulldogs, great win over Richmond. St Kilda, they're lucky to be staying in, but they are in at the moment. That you've got to, like I said, possessions 9/10 of the law. And GWS, even after getting beaten on the weekend, are still just sniffing in that 8th position. 9th, we've got the Cats, Sydney Swans and Adelaide on 42, 42 and 40 points respectively. Essendon are a chance, and I think that's where it finishes. Richmond, it'd be great if they finished 9th, but 13th's even better. Gold Coast are on 36. We really need Hawthorn to win 2 out of their last 3 games to make Fremantle drop down to 16th spot, so we get the 3rd pick in the draft. Go D's. North Melbourne, they had a crack in the first quarter against the D's, and there was a little bit of a nervous person named Chris Pepper when it came to that one. And the Wet Toast Eagles, well, didn't they break hearts of every single non-Essendon supporter on the weekend? They're on the bottom of the ladder. 8 points, 52%, and literally to say they've got Harley Reid sewn up unless North get absolutely walloped over the next few weeks. All right, J-Dog, thoughts and feelings about the ladder? There's 12 teams that still can make the final 8. Thoughts? What do you reckon?
No, don't change it from last week.
So you're staying as it is?
Staying as it is.
As it is. All right. Now, to sort of double up with the Liz Smiley ski double ups, J-Dog, the round 24 schedule was also introduced as well too. So just because they don't get enough primetime games, Collingwood and Essendon are going to start the round off. Some of the ones to look out for in terms of how it's going to shape the finals. I'm telling you now that MCG game between Hawthorn and Freo, that could be a pick swapper. So Fremantle would probably want to win to make it harder for Melbourne, and Hawthorn, after what they did on the weekend, are a massive chance to take them out. We don't know where Brisbane's going to be against St Kilda. Cats versus Doggies. I reckon whoever wins that's going to make finals. Now, Port Adelaide versus Richmond. Sydney versus Melbourne's going to be a ripper. And have a look at that last game for the weekend. Carlton versus GWS. Imagine if those two teams locked in at 8th and 9th respectively, finished out the round on a Sunday evening. Football is getting tight. Football is getting awesome, and we have the best viewers on here. And guess what? More importantly, Tommy Roker's back after a number of weeks. Tommy's back. And Demons are trading Clary to the Suns for pick 5. And pick 6, pick 7, pick 8, and next year's pick 6, 7, and 8. Because that's what you're going to have to pay, Tommy, because there is no chance that superstar is leaving the Ds. What do you reckon, buddy? You happy about that last way, that round? There's no crossovers. Everything's looking nice and fresh.
Yeah, don't mind it. I thought that I'd seen that round already.
Someone leaked it.
Yeah, okay, all right. Because when I came out today, I'm like, I always thought we were playing Richmond. I didn't think anything different.
Yeah, well, Tommy says the D's want Harley Reid, and by Jingo, by crikey, we do want Harley Reid because he is an absolute jet. And just to throw him in the midfield means that good old Petrarca can just drop down fours. But it's not the Melbourne show. It's Lace Out, the AFL show. And that means that, J-Dog, it's time for us to spin some magnets. Alrighty, let's get into the first one. I'm going to start with this.
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weak as piss.
All right, dragging him this week, J-Dog, and throw them in if you feel like it. Dukey Lee's even joined us all the way from Perth. He loves a great chat. First and foremost, Crowded House are pulling out of the grand final gig. Now, that means that the AFL only have 50-odd days for them to find a replacement for grand final entertainment. Now, I think we know who should be the grand final entertainment. We went to an event last year, you and I together, if you remember. I reckon that's who they should have play. They should have a double act. Airborne, Steel Panther would rock the joint. Could you imagine?
Oh, you're talking about that show?
Yeah, that show.
I thought you were talking about when we went and saw Manpower and Princes of Persia.
Oh,
Princes of the Night.
Oh, well, hot and oiled. Yes, I know. That one, we're supposed to keep that to ourselves. Yes,
Peps.
I reckon Airborne would kill it. Rock the joint.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good fun. But the problem is, not the problem. I'll talk about Crowded House first. That'd have been boring.
Can we get anybody? The problem is with the AFL.
That'd be so boring.
You know, it's like a corporate event, and you can't get the top level talent. So you go from top level talent from about 20 years ago. We are the experts in that. The NRL kill it every year. They've actually got better entertainment than the game. We're the better game, and we just can't get the entertainment.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently.
Listeners, let us know. Who would you like
In
to
the
see?
chat, please.
Leave a comment, chat, whatever you want to do. Who would you like to see? Because I've been racking my brains, Peps. When I saw this news come out, I've been racking my brains going, who could kill it on a daytime audience with not the greatest stage show? And we know that Robbie absolutely slayed it. We know
Wolf
that
Mother? Because that fits into that. Have they done it already, have they?
they've done something. I've seen them live somewhere.
20 years. Could work.
Yeah.
What about Khalees?
And
what about if Khalees came out and did a 12-inch remix of Milkshakes?
Well,
I'd be.
Do you know Khalees is married to like Bill Murray? I'm dead serious. I'm not even
coming
lying.
in off the chat right now. Harry Styles, Kylie, Psy. Imagine Gangnam Style, and just 100,000 just go riding the horse, That'd be awesome. All right.
No, I don't know, Pepsi. The AFL Grand Final entertainment is the hardest gig to get right.
What's worse? AFL Grand Final entertainment or hosting the Logies?
Oh, both killers. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't think of a band that I'd want to see because they brought out Goanna and they absolutely, well, they're all right. But once again, good song, just didn't hit.
The best when they had the Killers out and they had the concert afterwards, it rocked the joint. It was awesome. That's what they should do. Just rock it. Yeah. And Motley Crue.
Oh, I would be up for some of that White Snake.
Yes, I'm still in the night. Stop it, J-Dog. I'm getting a little bit moist. All right. Petty and Dacos injuries for both top 4 teams. Now, it's just because they're both so impactful. Dacos, we know, is pretty much going to lose a Brownlow over this. You can't see him staying with 3 rounds to go. With the way Bontempelli's been playing over the last month has just been destroying it. And Petty, Melbourne finally get their forward line in gear, and he goes and has a Linz Frank injuries. So it's big impacts for those 2 teams, and they have to shuffle the decks again. That just kind of sucks moving into the final. So it's interesting. No one at the moment, if I look at the top 4, is really in good nick. Even probably the top 8, there's no one really in super health wise.
Out Petty, in Fritsch. Done.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
you need a. I reckon Tommy Mack is going to have to be the ball terror. They need someone to come in and just crack skulls. That's what Petty did.
Okay.
The Dacos, I don't care what anyone says, he is their number 1 player, and it's going to be a big loss. But hey, if you think it's going to be somebody else, it's going to be a bigger loss. Throw in the comments. All right. The dickhead who reached over to Marlon Pickett.
Yeah, I missed this story, so what's going on?
There was a guy, Marlon Pickett's along the boundary. Guy leans over, touches him. They have a bit of back and forth. He's been banned until deep into next year. I don't understand what he was thinking. He could have got his wallet stolen. It's just don't do that. Just don't touch players. You just don't know what can happen.
The keys to his shed could have gone missing.
Shed could have gone. The van could have happened as well too. He could have organised it. All the legends at this stage, but you just got to look after yourself, supporters. But just keep your hands to yourself on a beer and on your lovely. You do that, you're not going to have an issue.
So he actually reached over the fence.
Shoulder.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And then Marlon knocked the beer out of his hand as well too.
I hope he turned around and said, "Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate." Just did the whole.
Me. He smacked his beer. That was like $15. Unbelievable. And I'm having a crack at Essendon. Essendon for stealing the joy from not just West Coast supporters, but for the supporters of 17 clubs around the country who knew that one Essendon supporter that you would have loved to have got stuck into if they got beaten by West Coast. They could have won 10 finals and it wouldn't have mattered because they lost to West Coast. It would have been... the planets were aligned. Everything was there, and they just have to go ahead and ruin it, Essendon. Absolute... Oh.
Emotional, damn it.
Killed me, J-Dog. Killed me.
Killed me as well, Peps, because I was looking for... I was like, this is a... If they'd lost that, We're looking at a great Saturday, and I know if you're a Port Adelaide hater, an even better Saturday.
It would have been awesome just to finish it off as well. Hey, I want to give a couple of these two, Jade. Hey, anything that you want to pick out? Anything that you want to drag, or
On my list for dragging. No, I'm pretty happy with the weekend. I'm pretty happy overall.
Good mood tonight, aren't you? He's a good mood, listeners. This is good as the J Dog that we like to see.
Yeah, I'm in a
Ever
hey
since
mood.
you had your Alistair Clarkson respite from the podcast, you've come back refreshed, invigorated, putting in some effort. Where was that for the previous 5 years? I don't know. All right, hey.
No, I've signed a dimmer
You
deal.
signed a dimmer deal.
I've run out of energy, and I'm signed on the podcast.
You've even got guests. You've even bringing in your own guests now. It's awesome. All right, here we go.
3 votes.
All right, 3 votes. First of all, the Hawks. Wowzers. What a win. And they did everything that that I said weeks ago. Tag the runners. Get in their grill. Tag Dacos. You can't go wrong, and they didn't go wrong. And that was a cracking win, and they have put the league on notice that the club that were black and white have a little bit of yellow running down their spines at this time of the year. And they do have a kryptonite, and we can hurt them. So I think they've come back to the pack a little bit. I have to say, for all of those people that join us on our YouTube channel, and if you're listening to this now and you haven't joined our YouTube channel, get on. The link is in the show notes. Get on, subscribe to us on YouTube so you can actually see the beautifulness that is just myself and J-Dog, and even little guest hosts as well.
Little Naya, yes. And also, it does help. It does help the YouTube machines.
Yes, we got to get that algorithm, the algorithm/audience. More people need to know about us and less know about Scoops. The third thing is that 3 rounds to go. There are still 12 teams that can make the 8. It's just going to be a cracking finish to the season, and I'm really looking forward to it. It is going to be absolutely awesome, J-Dog. I'm loving footy right now, and umpires are still getting it wrong. We don't care anymore. We've got to focus on the entirety. So I'm looking forward to it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. They are our spit in the magnets. All right. Really quickly, Rising Star this week. Carlton finally get one, J-Dog. Yes, we're talking about the hard-running Carlton wingman. Ollie Hollands has been rewarded for his fine season with the Round 21 AFL Rising Star nomination. He gave it 20 disposals on the weekend, 6 tackles, 4 marks in their 19-point win over St Kilda, who had a real good crack on the weekend. Pick number 11 in last year's 2022 AFL draft. Played the first 11 games, got a bit of a fractured collarbone. He got a fractured collarbone. And then he returned and has had a pretty good first season. Look, he's not going to win it. Let's be honest. Only the people in the first 8 weeks are pretty much going to win it. Who do you think is going to take out the Rising Star now that Ashcroft isn't there?
Yeah, I'm still my man Cheezel, but it's probably going to be Mitch.
Yep, Mitch Owens? Well, we hope so, because I've got a freaking multi, and if it comes in, PlayStation 5, coming for you, kid. All right. Also, journey to the draft, really, really quickly. Journey to the draft, our man, Jacob Grant, back to local footy on the weekend, just trying to get a bit of a rejuvenation. There's 2 weeks left in the Coates League before finals. He really needs to dominate. He did, unfortunately, miss out on the Combine, which is a bit of a dampener. But the word is, if he has an absolute cracking couple of weeks, there's no reason why he can't get an invite. So we've got our legs, eyes, thighs, you name it, crossed for the big fella, because he's put in a great season so far. He just needs to go out, be selfish, and dominate. Just think of J-Dog on the bike. Nothing's going to stand in his way. So it is going to be awesome. All right, big boy.
Yes.
That means that we're moving over to you for this week's Talk of the Town. J-Dog's topic. We've got, games. Sorry, the games. We've got to get into the games. All right, big boy. Let's rip through these games because they were absolutely sensational. Some of them, I don't think there was a bad game across the weekend, to be honest.
No, I agree.
Friday night, Doggies versus Richmond.
Oh, no, this is probably the bad game.
Well, I don't think it was that bad. I think the Doggies just dominated.
First quarter, 50 points.
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm going to say one thing, though. If you haven't got a man chub for the Bont, you just don't appreciate the great game of footy. Like, he is... I'm willing to go and say this. No Bont, no Doggies. Full stop. If Bont goes down, they can't win a thing. He's the only thing keeping them within finals at the moment.
I will raise you.
Okay.
No Bond. I reckon I'd struggle to watch football.
You're that bad, buddy.
I think he is just a phenom.
Yeah. Imagine if your daughter brought the Bond home. How happy would you be?
Rich.
You'd be rich. You get those beautiful little... he just dominated. What about the Ugle in the first quarter? Like, he was just taking everybody on their front.
Four in the first.
They put the foot down. No one was going to get near him. Look, Richmond had a crack, but a 55-point win. And they needed a decent win too, because they haven't got an easy run with the last few games. And look, I don't think that they can... I think their backline is still very susceptible. And that's my concern, that teams can score. Like, even Richmond, they were 9 goals down at quarter time, and they still kicked another 10 in 3 quarters. Doggies only kicked 10. Yeah. So, like, it was pretty much even Stevens for that. So they are very scoreable if you get someone who's got a really good midfield and a really good offense. So,
and for Richmond, for them, same story. They're just a bit short down the back.
They are. They're
a bit short. They haven't got a big 6'4", 6'5" guy, 6'7" guy.
Well, they did. They dropped him.
And Western Bulldogs have a very tall
and a big jumpy forward line as well too. So we know into the Saturday. We know about this game, Essendon versus West Coast. 1 point win to the Bombers. Broke everybody's hearts around the country. It would have been nothing better just to see Essendon lose. Like, let's be honest.
Hey,
raise your hand right now if you would have loved Essendon to lose on the weekend. Even if you hate Essendon. Hate them even more for doing what they did. They ruined this weekend of footy. Like, when the AFL do their top 10 plays of the week, number 1 would have been Essendon losing the West Coast. That would have been awesome if that had. Supporters, you can have a crack at me, but honestly, tell me that wouldn't have been the number 1 news story this weekend if that had happened.
What a last quarter fight back from the Coasters.
But you know what it is? The Coasters, they've had to throw the magnets around a little bit. These kids have come in. They've had a really hard start to the season. They're having a crack. That's all you can ask for. I didn't see that one coming. I thought that was going to be 15 goals minimum.
Yeah, that was good.
It was good. And probably Tim Kelly is probably going to win their best and fairest this year. And he's probably been quiet the last couple of seasons. He's started to step up and earn the cash that he's finally. But I will say one thing. Kyle Langford, what a great year. You should win. Outside of merit, you should win the best and fairest, because what you've done down forward this year has been nothing short of extraordinary.
Sitting something 51 goals now, something after the season.
I think he kicked, what did we say? He kicked something like 20. If that.
He's been good
for the rest of the season. So he's been sensational. We were spoken about this one at length a little bit earlier on. Hawks by 32 over Collingwood. I know that's the old ESPN.
Oh, we're jumping over Adelaide Gold Coast, are we? Jumping over Adelaide Gold Coast.
I'm leaving that one to next.
Right, okay.
But Hawthorn, brilliant. They played. I've given Sam Mitchell a bit of stick over the last couple of years. God, he's a tactical genius. Like, he's doing that with a group of young kids at the moment. Imagine when they get another 50 games into them, what they're going to be like. They will win a grand final before Essendon.
Right.
Yep.
Will they make the finals next year?
No. They still need it. They still need a bit more. They need a couple more drafts. But I like what he's doing.
They were brave. They were brave, and they were good, and they took it on.
They beat Collingwood at their own game. They got in their grill. James Sicily, like the second greatest number 6 ever to play VFL, AFL footy behind yours truly. He just dominated. I love him. I love those loose cannon type of backmen. Just love it. So he was sensational.
Yep.
Finn McGuinness destroyed Nick Dacos. I think he had him. What do you have? Was it 6 disposals?
Five disposals.
I'll give Dacos some credit. Gets his knee cracked, played out the game.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to hear that he actually ran the game out. Right? Because I looked at the numbers and I'm like, oh Jesus, he must have gone off at quarter time.
They're playing.
But no, McGuinness just
he was on fire, and he called the MFB and said, "Get me one of those blankets, big boys." Threw it straight over the top of him, and he just extinguished him. No Dacos, no Collingwood, and it showed on the weekend. Adelaide and Gold Coast, Tommy Roker. I want to know what happened to Gold Coast. I didn't pick them, but I thought they would have shown more fight. Like, they were just beaten up all across the entire game. Is Dimmer Hardwick going to be the coach? You think so? Is he going to make much of a difference? What do you think? I don't know.
Question of this game here. Can Taylor Walker win it? Win the Coleman?
Who's Carlton? Carlton got Melbourne this week. They've got GWS as well. And I don't know who's in the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who do they play this week? If they play West Coast or North, you're a big chance. Yep.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I love him. I love what Tex is doing. Like I said, there is nothing sweeter when he gets on that left on the run from Fiddy.
Where are we at? Round 22. Jeez.
How's a quick season gone, J-Dogs? But the Suns, they have a great win the week before against Brisbane. They come out and serve that up. It's the same Gold Coast. And I know we've got Gold Coast supporters who think, they're a massive, they're going better. I've held on for this long. But I'd love to see them finish the season off on a high, get a couple of extra wins, and have a winning end of the season, because by now they're usually finished. I don't like it. Tell us about this game, big boy. Geelong by 12 over your mob.
6 forced changes in 1 week does not help when you lose 2 about an hour before the game. Pretty brave. Annoyed that it's a 4th loss in a row for us, but at the same time, I'm not going to go as far as to declare it like old Kane Corns and called it a win.
Oh, that's just
I'm not going to go Bazball on it.
He's the same bloke that would get stuck into Melbourne and Carlton and West Coast and Gold Coast and any other team that wasn't his for honourable losses. There's no such thing as an honourable loss. Mate, it's bullshit. Don't play horses for courses crap. That was not a win. You lost. And you're losing your group on a home final too.
That's the most disappointing part, I think, of it all, is we had that streak of 13 in a row, and we're most likely going to drop to
And you know what?
that
was a soft 13 in a row, I must say. Now, what do you do? Do you sign Kenny?
I'm in the no camp, and I've been in the no camp for a while, but at the same time, as someone who we work in the same space as you and I, Peps, it's hard to fire a bloke when he's had a pretty good season.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look at it as the past 11 years and go, it's probably time to move on. Anyway, sorry.
You've got to find somebody who's you've got.
Taylor Walker 63, Charlie Curnow on 68.
Yeah, he needs to be.
That
well,
can come
he's
down
playing
to
on
it.
Stephen May this week, so he'll get blanketed completely. Won't get a kick. Probably come out and kick 8. D's versus North. D's by 32. If you told me they were quarter time, Melbourne be down by 5 goals.
Disappointing.
I think we were speaking, and I was getting a little bit animated when it came to that.
You guys ruined the weekend for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, is that?
Everyone was wanting North
No
Melbourne to win.
chance. Oh, look, at one stage I thought, what the hell's going on here? But then they regrouped themselves, etc. Look, I think Cozzy was brilliant. The petty injuries it's actually quite big because we haven't got someone to naturally flow in there. Ben Brown isn't the answer. Grundy's not the answer. Josh Shackey's not the answer, because you want someone who's aggressive and is going to bring the ball to ground, and none of those guys are that. And Grundy is not a forward. So I can't see Grundy getting a game or none of those guys getting a game. So they're going to have...
He won't be.
I don't think Grundy's going to get a game, my friend.
I'm sorry, our supporters out there, and I get private messages about this stuff. Grundy is coming to Port Adelaide next year. I'm sorry.
What are you going to give up for him?
Nothing. You're going to ream you guys like you reamed.
No.
Like you reamed
Collingwood
Collingwood.
got rid of him, mate. We got him.
No. We're going to ream you harder than that. You thought that was a good reaming.
The D's are getting
wait.
old. Yes, Tom. That's what happens when you get success.
We're going to ream you harder than what people cop in a Brickzilla video. If you don't know who Brickzilla is, look it up. On Incognito
Hendo Rick
mode.
would bend you over and split you into 14 different pieces, my friend. Because no, you're not. You're gonna give at least a first rounder for him.
We're Johnny Sins. We're Johnny Sins. We're coming in.
Yeah, and I'm Sky Bree. Just gonna take all your draft picks.
People's Google browsers are going to be
just
going.
Not safe for work, people. Just do not search any of those names using incognito mode. That's all I'm saying. St Kilda versus Carlton. I watched this game. It was actually a really good game, and I thought the Saints had them. Carlton, they got a bit of spunk about them at the moment. They're playing some pretty good footy at the right time of the year.
I don't know what to say about Carlton. Like, it's nothing. They're not surprising me because they've got the cattle to do this to teams. I think it's surprising that it's taken so long for it to click.
Well, when you've had 47 first-round picks over the last, 5 years because you've been shit for so long, of course you're going to have to it's going to have to click sometime.
They're bloody impressive, though, Peps. They're coming in. If they
what
get in,
impressive, do you think?
The fact they've knocked off almost the top 4 now in the last 7 rounds.
Okay.
And like not just knocked off, but comfortably beaten.
Mm-hmm.
And no one looks close to them. Like no one looks close to this team at the moment. They are
No.
They are Collingwooding teams now, like Collingwood between rounds
J-Dog.
4 to 8,
No,
4
they're
to
not.
10.
No, they're not. No,
They
they're
are.
not. Mate, they're not even guaranteed to play finals at the moment, Jay.
This is the thing. I don't want to. If they make finals and they keep this form up,
They won't. They won't.
I know.
I'm
but
liking
you can't write them off.
Carlton is,
Peps.
though. They've actually got some talent to come back in. Like Cherry's still got to come in. McGovern's got to still come in. Williams maybe come back in. So they've got some good stuff. Walsh to come back in. So they've got some goodness. But if you then bring those guys in, it's going to cause. You can't make too many changes this time of year.
No. And why would you?
I don't know.
I know their names.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm on them.
Not this week. You can be on them after this week. And last game of the weekend, which broke my heart, was Fremantle losing to Brisbane. The reason why it broke my heart is I genuinely thought Freo were a massive chance to win this one, and they should have won this one and just let this one slip. But it would have put more separation on Brisbane in third spot now and pretty much would have finished their top 2 aspirations. Now you've left them in the hunt. I don't rate Brisbane. Sorry to say, I don't rate Brisbane. I think you're right, though. I think there's more of a threat from Carlton than there would be Brisbane. Brisbane outside of Brisbane is not that crash hot. Fremantle anywhere outside, they not crash hot. Carlton, I reckon there is something there. Like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. You know what they got? They got a little bit of Melbourne 2018 about them. Baby Melbourne
Melbourne
got to a prelim and just got fizzed. Not to say that's going to happen. Like, are they putting all their eggs into the basket of making finals now? And are they going to go too hard? I don't know. And Mackay's another one that they haven't got. But I think Mackay actually makes them a worse team. He just throws that whole forward structure out completely.
I haven't sold the farm onto my Carlton. I haven't moved too many shares into Carlton. But if they have a win this week, I'm pushing some more shares into that bucket.
Go for it. You can push as many shares as you want, my friend. But like I said, premierships are not won in August. They're won in September. And at the moment, they're not there.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else? Actually, let's go through some of the questions.
All right. So some of the stuff coming through. Actually, you read them out, my friend, because I want everybody to make sure that they're liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell on YouTube so they can get us every single week. Because we're going, like I said, we are going cocoa nutters on the tube.
Tom has said that West Coast tanked. I wish that was the case. I wish we could say that.
So they can get a $500,000 fine like Melbourne did.
The difference is you guys didn't put players in the right positions and made it look obvious. What about a crack at Brendan Hoskin and the blatant favouritism in Geelong? Oh, yes.
What was that one?
The free kick gate.
What was that?
Hashtag free kick Geelong.
What, on the weekend?
31-19 in the Port Adelaide versus Geelong
game. If you're getting second of the ball, that's what's going to happen.
Brendan Hoskin paid 15 frees to Geelong in that game. One umpire.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not right. I'm sorry. Hey, Tommy's throwing the old. The MRO said nothing to see. Gil McLaughlin suspended too. Look, you know what? I just hope someone goes off and just gives Zorko, just does something to him because he's an absolute sook. Mate, you got your balls twisted in a tackle. Like, there's worse things that can happen, and you've probably done them.
Yeah, twisting balls is pretty not great.
Can you honestly tell me he deliberately did it? Like,
I don't know.
You look at the video, he's tackled him. It happens. It's a contact sport.
So you reckon he put his hand just down his pants to just push himself back up off the ground?
Didn't give him relief, did he? Like, no, he just gave it a twist. Oh, there was bruising.
Anyway, Tom
with you, Tommy.
Tom has also, or maybe this will get you off, Tom. He just said EK lost to Keilor Derby.
Yeah, they did. Oh, they were a massive shot. So East Keilor were like your mob at the moment. They've had that many injuries, like 27 injuries at the moment. Yeah. They couldn't even field a reserves team. That's how decimated they were. And they came out and Keilor, they're coached by Mick McGuire, haven't lost a game all year. They haven't looked like losing a game all year. And it got to like a 2-goal, I think it was just on a 2-goal loss. And geez, were the boys given the Keilor bench. They were shitting themselves to get beaten by East Keilor. Like, it would have been the greatest thing. But unfortunately, they had a crack. And, like, you know, when we're talking about honourable losses, that was honourable because you knew just the class difference between the two teams was mammoth. And they had a crack. And Aussie Harris had a cracker of a game too as well too. Cam Wild played fantastic as well too.
Rightio, it's not the Cougars podcast.
Go boys, go Cougars. 376.
Tom, never bring up that topic ever again, please.
He knows they're all Harris.
All right. Next one was Craig Jones. What part of the 13 was soft? We beat your mob, didn't we, Peps? We did. That's great. Remember that pickup? Oh. Horn Francis on DeRosie, snap over the shoulder. Oh, beautiful.
What's soft? Yeah, we were shit.
Great.
You beat us. Big deal.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Great. Yeah.
Rightio. And then Craig Jones said, what Took did is not nearly as bad as Hawaii.
2007. Here's one from Tommy Roker. What about the Demons sending Grundy to West Coast with the Freo pick, plus whatever else they need to bundle for pick 1?
No.
Why not? I reckon, Tommy. Why not? If he wants to go to West Coast and that gets us Harley Reid, do whatever you need to do, Melbourne. But he's coming our way. We're going back to back.
You're going back to back.
Going back to back. Yep. Behind,
all right.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Devastated. All right.
Right.
So, listeners, that means now it's handing it over to the great man's topic of the week. Over to J-Dog's query. I don't know. We haven't got a name for this segment. Drop it in the chat for us, can you?
Yeah. Shit chat. Anyway, so Peps, this thought came to me on the back of scrolling through Instagram yesterday afternoon. And on my Instagram, I have a whole bunch of random shit, right? And it's also tied into a bit of Twitter X as well, because it's not called Twitter anymore, it's called X. And it's no longer called tweets, they're called Xies or something like that they're called. I don't know what the young kids are doing these days.
It's still called Twitter.
Nah, they're called Xies or something, aren't they?
They're called tweets.
It's not on my phone.
They're still tweets in my eyes, all right?
Well, anyway, so long story short, I was going through some of the players of the modern world and what they're putting up there, and it got me thinking that there's a whole generation of players that aren't soft cocks that would have had a real good time on the Instagram. And so I want to know, Peps, I want to know, and listeners, please chuck in some names in the chat as well for us while this topic. Some of the players who would have had Instagram, and what type of Instagram content would they be posting? So I want to go with my first one here. So you think about players of the past years, not the modern stuff, because they all just post the same shit. It's either going to be them snorting drugs, white powder, nudes, and just boring media bullshit. And no one cares for it. Like modern footy players, no one cares for your shit. What I want to know, Peps, the player had in mind who would absolutely be one of those players that would kill you is Buckley. What would Nathan Buckley's Instagram be full of, do you think?
Body shots.
I reckon the same thing. Fitness, follow me, eat 7 million calories a day and you can look like me.
He'd be sponsored by Gymshark or 2XU.
It'd just be like on stories of him just at the gym or him like talking about something and he'd have the big aviators on.
Yeah, true.
And it would just be him doing squats and stuff like that.
Curls, curl workouts, like get arms like Arnold or get thighs like Buckley. Hammer
Can
curl,
you just imagine his Instagram?
preacher curls. Check.
So the other player I thought at Peps, when I was thinking about like who would be interesting on the Instagram, what would Glenn Jakovic have?
He'd be freaking nightclubs.
You reckon he'd just be sculling beers?
I reckon he'd be
and smoking.
Nah, he'd be doing stuff like just building stuff with like no shirt on, and just look at me. I don't know. He'd have his rig out too. Or no, you know what it'd be photos of him smashing Wayne Carey. Had the duck last night. Only kicked 2 on me. Destroyed him again.
Do you reckon
continued?
Do you reckon it'd be selfie mode and him just talking direct to camera about how good he is?
Yes, he would. What about Tony Modra? What would Tony Modra's be? I reckon Tony Modra's wouldn't be Instagram. He'd be OnlyFans.
I reckon Tony Modra would be the same. I reckon it'd be him just sweeping around a nightclub in Adelaide with just girls. Just
you ask my friend Ash Fernie about Tony Modra.
Because Tony Modra had the hair. He had the looks. He could play like a hanger.
Hanger goal of the year. Even
Do you reckon he would repost fans of his hangers that he took? You know, when like I saw the other day. In fact, Rude Boy took a photo of you the other day.
Yeah.
You being an absolute nuffy at the footy recording.
Oh yeah.
A play.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that he would be a reposter of other people's posts?
No. There would be other people taking photos of him.
Yeah, and then he'd repost them.
So, like, when they see their idols, like they saw me on TV, they repost it. What about Warwick Kappa? What would the Wiz be? The Wiz would have been with him and Leanne.
I reckon the Wiz would have. He would have curated. He'd have a curated page, wouldn't he? I reckon you couldn't trust Wiz to keep his own page. Could you? It'd be too dangerous.
He'd have his own platform, like UKappa.
He would. He'd actually try and promote off that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, everything would be Kiepa.
Warragram.
Was it
Wazagram?
Insta Wiz. All right.
He would have to be like proper shots.
You know who, Nolan? Kevin Sheedy. You know what that'd be? Kevin Sheedy would just be about him selling his books and corporate gigs and anything that he could do to get $1.
Do you reckon it would be just him selfies at corporate gigs?
Yeah. No. Any photo of him where he's looking magnificent in terms of football, coaching. Look at me, premiership coach. You can have me speak at your corporate gig. Contact me. There's nothing like coaching your team to premiership success, and I can show you how to coach your team to business success. Call me, Kevin Sheedy, or read my book. That's what it'd be.
All right.
You know who'd be awesome? Malcolm Blight.
Who?
Malcolm Blight would all be about him.
Malcolm Blight would be good. Okay, 2 players I want to end with. Arguably the 2 of the greatest players that's ever played our game. I'll go with one first. Lee Matthews. What would Lee Matthews' page be all about? What kind of Instagram would he be? What kind of influencer would he be?
I reckon he and Diesel Williams would have the same sort of page. It would either show photos or footage of them dominating people, or photos or video of them punching people.
Do you know what I can see?
What?
I can just see in my brain. I can just see him shacking up with like a butcher, and him just like selling meat on his page.
Talking about.
Like him with his shirt off, with a big bare chest going with a big mo, and him just like selling like 3 kilos of sausages, and I don't know. There's something about Lee Matthews and that sort of.
And
Just not about
mustache
him.
carrying.
It's because he had his shorts up really high, so he had like these big quads.
I have another one. What about Tony Lockett? What would Plugger have? Plugger would be getting obviously a sponsorship deal from Snowdally. That'd be the first thing. And the second thing would be plugging his greyhounds. Another winner on the weekend.
Or just farm
Just
content.
farm content. Check out my new flannel.
Check out my flannel. Check out me John
Oh,
Deere.
yeah.
Check out me
Check
crop.
out my potassium sulfite fertilizer I just picked up for $400 a kilo.
Yeah. Check out me cedar.
Oh, yeah.
Walks
out
around
my
and gives us stats on his cedars.
harvester.
And I reckon he'd wake up every day and just be like, "Good morning, everyone. Look at a beautiful day here on the farm."
He
And
wouldn't say much. What about Gary Ayres? He'd just have shots of his mullet, wouldn't he? Just that.
Oh, Ayres would just be about him.
Hair care. He'd be sponsored by Soul Glow.
The only footage I have of Gary Ayres in my brain is the one where he's down at Port Melbourne coaching with his sunnies on and the silver hair in like a zip-up jacket. That's something I have Gary Ayres in my
The
brain.
88 grand final, the single best grand final outside 2021.
All right.
I got another one. I actually had another one.
Yeah.
Wayne Carey.
That was what I was going to end
Oh,
on.
is that the other one you're going to make? All right. Before we go into that one, the other one I got two more. Trevor Barker. Trevor Barker. You want to talk about?
It'd just be punch-ons, wouldn't
Trevor
it?
Barker. Oh, he was
Wouldn't it just be punch-ons at the pub?
no hot. You'd want to be on his Snapchat channel. He'd have OnlyFans too, I reckon. And I did have one more. Jason Ackermanis.
Oh, his would just be a lads channel,
It'd be just
wouldn't
all
it?
about him. Look at me.
Just beers,
How to dye your beard.
handstands,
Yep.
handstands.
How to do a handstand.
Yeah, he would have been a good channel. Also, Fev back in the day would have been a great channel.
Fev in his day. I remember he did a sportsman's night at East Keilor, like when he was first starting, and it was shit. Like he was that bad. But he wasn't allowed to drink. So he just had a Coke can with the bourbon in the Coke can. He wasn't
he'd be
drinking,
good.
but he was drinking.
And what would Wayne Carey be?
I reckon he'd have a premium channel. He'd have a Patreon account.
He'd have a blue?
There'd be Wayne's toilet tips. there'd be a lot of peacocking. There'd be a lot of celebrations. There'd be a lot of video of him just strutting.
Yeah, I've just got nothing but like footage of him walking around his
No shirt on.
his Port Melbourne thing, no shirt on,
No shirt. Look at me in my Beamer.
going to Bali.
Going to Bali. Once again, another one you're moving Snapchats for. It would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? It's like when people talk about if Seinfeld was now, what would they talk about? It's the same sort of thing. What would those players in their prime do? What about Buddy Franklin? Like 20, go back 15 years ago, what he would have been like now. Nightclubs.
I think. Do you know what? I reckon Buddy. I didn't
Tommy
go with
Roker.
that one, but
Tommy.
I did think about it. How to maybe how not to. Do you know what? I reckon buddies would be boring.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Not many.
Don't you reckon?
People buy themselves a birthday cake to celebrate their 100th.
Is that what he
Bought
did?
himself a cake to celebrate his 100th.
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
Isn't
that tragic?
Not 100th game, J-Dog. It wasn't his 100th game he was talking about. Yep. You'd get yourself a trophy, wouldn't you?
Yep. No, I reckon he'd be all right, but I reckon it would just be a lot of time. See, Budweiser had just different lifestyles. He's had the fluoro shirt, young Budweiser, and he's had like the model Budweiser.
You know another one? I reckon Kevin Murray. Kevin Murray. He'd be just shots of him with no shirt on, with his Brownlow around his neck that he still wears around his neck right now.
Yeah, like Jacko Jackson would be a good one.
Oh, Jacko! Oi!
He'd be a good one.
You can't fool me. By copies here. Oh, just
I could just see him I reckon his channel would just be him driving around Melbourne, yelling out to people, and whoever yells back to him, he'd run out and punch him.
Absolutely love it, J-Dog. Absolutely love it.
But yeah, that's
go for it. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that's the end of shit chat. Unless you got something
nothing shit chat.
Okay.
One thing, getting
Yes.
close for the coaches award as well too. Dacos is winning, Petrarca second, Bont third, getting very very tight at the top at the moment too. So getting very very exciting from that perspective as well too. 1 week at a time. Games for this week that you're getting a little bit excited for, Jamie. We've only got 3 rounds to go. Some teams should be planning their end of season trip. I don't know if you've got the games up because you're not normally prepared.
Yep. No, I always do.
What games are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm probably looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Friday night.
That'll be a ripper. Why did you call me lose 3 in a
That'll be
row?
a corker. I'm looking forward to see if Essendon can pull another victory from the jaws of defeat. And the other game I'm looking forward to is probably your game.
Thank you. Yeah, Melbourne Carlton's obviously the one I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a couple other games, but for different reasons. Yours game, Port and GWS. What happens if you lose 5 in a row, Jamie? Yeah, okay.
Big trouble.
All right. Hawthorn Western Bulldogs. And that's at UTAS. So it's not
so much.
I'm looking forward, because if Hawthorn do what they did to the Western Bulldogs to what they did to Collingwood, Doggies aren't a lock for finals. And the other one, could you imagine what would happen over there in the WA market if West Coast, which I don't think they will because they want to get that number 1 pick, could you imagine if they beat Fremantle? A team that won a final last year. Absolutely mind-numbing. Mind-numbing.
Do you, yeah, look, I do take your Western Bulldogs Hawthorn one on. I'm just not interested because they're too far apart this time of the year.
Yeah, understandable.
For
Look,
me.
just a couple of things are coming off the chat. Craigie Jones getting stuck into me because I didn't include Butters in 3rd spot. Oh, forgot about Butters. Didn't mean that. So it goes Dacos, Petrarca, Butters, Bont. Apologies, he was 1 vote in front, but I'll take that one back. Tory Williams, absolute superstar, I'm very nervous for this week, but I think we're going to have a good one. And Charlie Keegan called Freo to finish bottom 4 before the season. Yes, he did, Tommy Roker. Yep, but I also did pick Richmond not to make the 8, and I also picked Collingwood not to make the 8.
But fair play to Keegs.
Yeah.
Not far off.
He was good when he was on the potty a couple of weeks ago.
He's just one game. No, a couple of games.
He's done well.
Above.
Hey, you know what it's time for, J-Dog? Before we wrap this bad boy
What's
up.
that?
Before we wrap this one up, it's time for you to unwrap with Jamie's fan tail. This is the highlight of my week, the fan tail.
This is fan tail moment.
Yeah.
We don't actually edit that one in ever. Anyway, all right. Fan tail moment.
You know
And
the
then
answer,
we
put
can
it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. Leave a comment below. Also, who else? Instagram pages. Let us know in the leave a comment. All right. This is
John Longmire horse.
Did you say is John Longmire a
That was
horse?
his nickname, horse. Imagine his Instagram.
Yeah.
Full.
Jesus. All right. This is Matilda's based, being that it's a theme. Who am I? Born in Sydney in 1968, he pursued drama at the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts. He has starred in a variety of musicals, making fame starring as Peter Allen in the long-running The Boy from Oz. Since then, he has starred in a variety of films, including Van Helsing, The Prestige, Real Steel, Les Mis, Prisoners, and starring as Wolverine in 6 X-Men related films starting back in 2006. I am... And that's it. Got started early. On that fantail. I'll be picking that first one tonight now.
Fantastic. Good question. I think everybody's going to get that one. It was a huge question. I love it.
They used to be harder.
I know. It used to be like, it used to be a lot harder. They've got too easy. It's just the children of today, they don't want to be tested. They just want everything handed to them.
No.
Okay. Hey, but you know what also you want is the magnificence of a lace out. Hey, everybody who's joined us live tonight on the chat, awesome. If you're watching us on our brand new YouTube page, and if you haven't, get onto Lace Out Podcast on YouTube. I've left the link in the show notes. Join us, subscribe us. Gets more people hearing about us, more people get to see us, and it means that we're generating more content for you because we love every single one of you. So, hey, round 22 is going to be an absolute belter this week, but that is your round 21 review, Lace Out style, hosted by myself, Chris Pepper, and the great man, Jamie the J-Dog Wallace. Belter of an episode. The kids are screaming. That means that we're wrapping this bad boy up. But before we do, I hope your team wins, unless you're Carlton. I hope Essendon lose. But more importantly, Jamie the J-Dog Wallace. Oh, and apparently we've scored. The Matildas have scored, J-Dog. We're 1-0 up. 1-0 up.
Apparently.
1-0. No, Bo Hawkins has jumped in. 1-0. The Matildas are in front. The show's about to finish. J-Dog, how do you want your footy?
I want it Lace Out.
I'm going to go watch the soccer. Go Matildas. Go football. Go you good listeners. And have a great week, listeners.
See you, listeners.
Go Matildas!
Should have had that fantasy one. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of Lace Out. Head over to iTunes and Spotify to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And remember, join us every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, on our Facebook page with yours truly, Christopher Pepper, and the co-host with the most, Jamie Wallace, giving you your footy how you want it. Lace Out.